So on today's episode, we want to fill you in on our best practices to ensure that you set up your account manager for success within your agency.
Welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast, brought to you by Dot & Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat cam life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to happy clients.
So if you have been listening to the Happy Clients podcast for a while, or you've been around us here at Dot & Company, you know that we are client account managers for marketing agencies. So our team, they are all trained up in our methods to become premium account managers. And then we install them into agencies as fractional account managers. So we know a thing or two about what it really means to bring in an account manager and how to set somebody up for success. So on today's episode, we want to fill you in on our best practices to ensure that you set up your account manager for success within your agency.
I think that is such a great sort of big picture concept, right? Fit somebody in, talk to the clients, and really get them working inside the agency. And that's exactly what we do. So it's kind of twofold. And this is what I tell a lot of the CAMs too. And I know the agency owners that come to us are always like, we need to keep happy clients. I don't have time to communicate with them. It's getting pushed down the task list. And that's something we can certainly help with for sure. But I think what's so important, and the first step to kind of setting your account manager up for success, the first step is to really understand what that role looks like as it unfolds inside the agency. So sometimes this is a new role. And I think the job of client account manager is so much more than client communication. That's a huge part, but then there's project management, making sure everything's on task. So there's lots of different moving pieces. And I think the sweet spot with Dot & Company is that we are these people that understand agency life, understand marketing life, and coupled with that love of client account management really makes us the perfect fit. But I think it is good for agencies to understand how the role kind of unfolds inside their agency when they're hiring a client account manager.
Exactly. And I think, like you said, Katie, for the client account manager to feel successful, and also for you to feel successful with having this role, you need to just get on the same page and be like, all right, where is this role fitting in and who does what, the whole structure of the business, which is super important, which kind of leads us into our tip number 2, which is understanding and communicating to your account manager when to escalate issues. So as an account manager, there's always going to be things that are, landing on the account manager's plate. We're dealing with all the back and forth, all the project management, everything that's going kind of between the clients and building that relationship. But there's always going to be things that happen that a client might be upset about something, or you're worried that they're going to leave, or they're going to ask for their money back, or just kind of this red flag in your belly as an account manager where you need to escalate it. So I think it's important for you and your account manager to be on the same page when it comes to that escalation process.
And I'm the one talking to the CAMs all the time, and I'm just really communicating to them that not only should we be really transparent, definitely keeping agency owners in at that high level, what's happening with the clients, what's going on, but also be really solution-based. So you do know the client best, and this is how we can help them. So definitely escalating it, but presenting with solutions. I think that's why we have this whole team around our client account managers. And I think it's definitely something that we can bring to the table, really solving those issues that might come up.
Mm-hmm. And let's not be naive. Clients, there's always going to be issues. So just understanding that it's not necessarily always the account manager's fault. It's something that just happens in agency life. It's just how you kind of handle it. And that's super important to get on the same page from the beginning.
Totally. And kind of brings the third tip of this successful onboarding of a client account manager is really measuring those KPIs. So how are you measuring success? There's a whole bunch of different ways you could do this. Maybe it's churn, maybe it's client satisfaction, which we have happiness surveys for, increased monthly spend. Are they actually wanting to spend more money because they're seeing results? There's different ways that you can measure the success. I think obviously depends on the client and what they're trying to do with digital marketing, but having those KPIs at top of mind and making sure we're hitting them is just a really great tip.
Mm-hmm. Which leads us into our fourth tip, which is feedback. So in any agency, especially if you're like me and you're kind of more of that touchy-feely, like, emotional person, it sometimes can be hard to give feedback to people. But I think this is the most important thing with this role specifically, is to ensure that you are giving your account manager feedback, whether it's good or bad or something they can learn. So if, they maybe respond to a client and it's not how you really want it done, like just tell them like in a really constructive way so that we can learn and kind of optimize the process from there. And, we want to do a really good job. So the more feedback that you can give is going to be way, way easier in the long run.
And something we're always telling client account managers, like day one, start that SOP, but also start FAQ. So you do have those answers. So you have screenshots of the communication. So when you do get that feedback and you're working on improving, you have that sort of reference, that's agency friendly communication that actually you are on brand and you can reference back and modify and just learn from that feedback. So having that FAQ and those pockets of feedback are certainly helpful to just keep on hand as well.
Yeah, which is really important because as an account manager, you have to learn. There's a learning curve with any new job that you're in, new agency, new role. So we have to learn. And the only way to do that, which is our tip number 5, is to just allow your account manager to jump in and make mistakes and ask the questions and build these SOPs and learnings and just allow them that space to just do their job and figure it out as they go. Of course, you're there to lean on, to ask questions too, but there's an element of just like jumping in. And I think if you as the agency owner allow your account manager to feel confident doing that, then that you're going to see a really great working relationship in the long run.
I actually love seeing those mistakes come through sometimes because it is such an opportunity to learn. And, usually it's early on getting into the groove of working with that agency and then learning from it. So mistakes, of course, we don't want to see big ones come through and we're on top of those, but seeing those sort of learning opportunities are really special, especially in different agencies. We have the client account management piece down pat. It's that agency learning curve that our CAMs usually take a week or two to lean in on.
Exactly. Well, these were our short 5 tips. So to recap, make sure that you understand the role within the agency and where this account manager is going to fit in. 2 is understanding and communicating when your account manager should escalate client issues to you or someone else on the team. Number 3 is identifying what these KPIs are that you want to set out for your account manager so that they know when they're being successful. Number 4 is give really good feedback, whether it's a win or it's feedback, to learn, make sure that you're giving that and kind of closing the loop there. And lastly, let your account manager jump in, make mistakes, and learn as they go. Well, thank you so much for listening into the Happy Clients podcast. Our first I'll call it a solo episode without a guest in a couple of months. So it's so nice to be back with just Katie and I, and hopefully this give you some really good insight. If you are, looking for more support, whether it be through training your account managers or looking to bring in an account manager, you know who to call. We'll link our website below and we can help you with any and all things account management.
Yeah, we're going to have to do more of these. I like talking client account management and giving all the tips. So you'll hear from us soon.
Cheers to happy clients.